We call ourselves Venom.
Hey, Kickers here, and I've got words to say about Venom, Let There Be Carnage. Clocking in at 90 minutes, the movie is far shorter than the usual superhero fare, but that kind of fits with what this movie actually is. And what it is not a superhero movie. What it is not even like a mystery or horror movie. This is a rom-com. It's a rom-com featuring Eddie and Venom and their will they, won't they weird relationship. Now, a lot of that is fun, but a lot of that also kind of just goes in places. Anyway, let's get started really talking about this film. It picks up sometime after the first film, with Eddie and Venom each trying to work out some kind of work-life balance with both their desires, with Eddie trying to live a normal life and Venom wanting to go the whole lethal protector route. The troubles between them are the core of the film, a couple trying to figure out where they stand. When they're approached by Cletus Cassidy, trying to tell his life story and get it out in the open, and that's where things make a sharp turn, with the whole desire for Eddie to get his career going, and he gets that chance with Cletus. The Cletus Cassidy cases and the Venom frustration eventually lead to a parting ways between our two heroes. Now it's up to Venom and Eddie to see if they can put their differences aside and come together to deal with Cletus and Venom's offspring, Carnage. Now, the movie has a lot of things going on in its relatively short runtime, but is it any good? Well, that's kind of a mixed question. If you're going in looking for an action movie, that's not what this is. In fact, there are relatively few actual action scenes in this film, most of it being tied up with a lot of slapstick humor between Eddie and Venom as they kind of bumble their way through a lot of stuff. And bumbling is a way to describe a lot of these characters. There's about 5 brain cells mixed between the entire principal cast, and a lot of the things that happen in this movie only happen because people are idiots. A lot of the characters really feel like they're in a 90s film with a lot of one-liners and hamming it up in every possible way. I mean, Tom Hardy and Woody Harrelson are both just chewing the entire scenery, not leaving anything left for anyone else in the planet. There are quite a few plot threads in the film that just seem to go nowhere. There's an institute that deals with superpowered people, and that sole plot line just gets dropped. There's a whole murder mystery stuff with dealing with all of the different cases and missing people and victims of Cletus Cassidy, and that goes out the window in like one scene. There's just a bunch of stuff that seemed like maybe it was put in there, but when the runtime got chopped down to an hour and a half, maybe it just got dropped. The action in the movie is very choppy, with a lot of stuff slamming into each other, poorly shot. It's a jumbled mess. There's one good action sequence in the entire film, and it does not make up for having to sit through a lot of boring nonsense. The whole climax of the film builds to something in which every single character in it seems to fight with themselves to make the worst possible decisions in the fights. Now, I'm one of the people who fought and said this film did not need to be R-rated, that you don't need an R-rated Carnage movie, that you don't need an R-rated Venom movie, and this is not a PG-13 movie. This thing is a low PG film. I've seen movies that have pushed that PG rating to show some gore, to really push things for the audience. They didn't even try. I don't know what they were doing with this film, but if they did not want to go gory, then why did they pick the serial killer for their second movie? I just don't know what's going on with them. This is not the fault of this being PG, this is the fault of them just not caring. Above all, the film makes the cardinal sin of just being kind of dull and boring. Not a lot happens. The humor, the slapstick, it's a lot like a Three Stooges skit that goes on about 40 minutes too long. They do not know when to stop a joke, and they just keep going on and on. Now, for those of you that care, the end credit scene is going to be one of the big ones, though I have a feeling it doesn't mean exactly what people think that it means. And I'm looking forward to seeing, like, later on what it might tie into. Anyway, this is Keckers. I survived Venom, Let There Be Carnage, and hey, if you can go to a nice place where you can like drink and then watch the movie, I'd suggest doing that. Otherwise, you might not have a great time. Bye-bye.